In Westfield, the police department showing local high school students the importance of safe driving. The department was awarded the 2024 Municipal Road Safety Grant, and one of the elements involved is non-enforcement traffic safety. Today in Control, a program that specializes in traffic safety, held driving classes for students at Westfield Vocational Tech High School. We spoke with Dan Strolio about some of the lessons in controlling and teaching and trying to teach.
We're putting students through real-world situations as passengers in the vehicle so they can experience the importance of the seatbelt, the impact of speed on their ability to control the car, and then we talk a lot about impairments. You know, we've got drugs and alcohol, and then there's phones and other distractions, and drowsiness. I mean, we're really not getting enough sleep nowadays, and we're out there on the roads.
There will also be classes on Thursday and Friday for students at the Westfield High School.